Hello, hardworking students. Today's subject or topic is values and choices. We've talked a lot about what influences the choices we make. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about how our values can influence the choices that we make. So, values, you can see in this image, everything from respect to teamwork to trust, honesty. These are the values that we have. So, what am I talking about? What are values? I'm not talking about your expensive sneakers or your expensive earbuds or whatever. What we're talking about are inner standards from which you receive the motivation to act as you do. They are called values. They signify what's important in your life and what's worthwhile. They also serve as the basis for your moral code, your ethical reflection. Your values are based on a lot of different parts of your life. They might come from your family, your religion, your culture, your race, your social background, your gender. Your values can come from a variety of places. But you guys are at a place where you should be starting to identify your own values. And values can guide individuals, professions, they can guide schools, they can guide communities, athletic teams. All of those different things can be guided by values. So, in your teenage years, you're going to come to a place with your beliefs and values. So, a lot of times you're going to challenge them just because you're a teenager. But you've got these new mental capabilities and awareness of the world around you that's growing. So, this will drive you to become your own person. This is the time in your life where you aren't always being told what to do by your parents, and you kind of are. But it's time for you to start developing your own set of values. So, as you journey in your life and you add some new values, you might let some go. The critical point is that they become your beliefs, your values, and then they can guide you in your life. May not be a straight path. There's a lot of experimenting and a lot of testing and a lot of confusion. You might value honesty and say that you think honesty is important, but you might lie to your parents on Friday night. So there's a lot of challenging of those values. Okay. Sometimes we let a value go and then we recommit to it later on. Remember, life is a journey. You don't have to decide today your values that'll rest with you for the rest of your life. It is your life. They are your values. And this journey is about being the author of your life, taking responsibility for creating your life. You get to create the life you want. So that means that you have to examine all the values that swirl around. This person's saying this is important. This person's saying that's important. Which ones are right for you based on who you are? So, what are some things you might value? There is an amazing range of things that you might value. I've got a list on the next slide, and it illustrates just how wide that range is. Some of them are kind of close in definition, but a different word might hit you right in the heart, and you might go, oh, yeah, that's one of my values. That's important to me. Everybody is different. This isn't one of those things where you're going to be able to copy another person's work because each individual person has their own individual values. You're going to be asked to identify the top 10 things you value in the activity for this lesson. Then you're going to be asked to narrow it to 5. Then you're going to take those 5 and you're going to rank them. It can be hard, but it does provide an interesting look at what you think is important in life. So, here are some values. In your guided notes, it asks you to make myself a little smaller here. It asks you to pause the video at this time and take a look at this list. So please go ahead and do that. Okay, hopefully you guys had a lot to think about when you looked at those words. Some of them may not mean anything to you, and that's okay. Some of them might hit you in the heart, and that's what's important. So, what about the tough times? How do your values have an impact on the difficult times? Well, if you have a good sense of values, it can provide a strong foundation for weathering those tough times. The things that you really believe in can help guide your decisions and guide your actions. And they also can remind you of why you are important. You're the carrier of your values that really make a difference. Tough times don't last, although it may seem like they do. But your values will last. So will your sense of significance, your sense of purpose, and your personal qualities. Those things are who you are for your whole life. So let's look at an example. Values motivate us to make choices. So this comes into play in a lot of the choices we make that affect our health. So in this example, there is going to be a teenage person, and they are at a party, and someone offers them the opportunity to smoke some weed. So let's go through each of these different options. So let's say that teenager values family, honesty, and integrity, and they think that's important. If those values drive their decision, they might say, nope, I won't smoke weed. I don't want to lie to my parents about what I did at the party. So that's an example of how these values might affect a decision. So let's say that person really values friendship. They want to fit in, they want to be a part of a crowd, they really want to do the same things as their friends. They might, thinking through this value, say, yeah, I'll smoke weed. My friends are doing it and I want to fit in. And maybe they won't ask me to come to the party next time if I don't smoke with them. So this value might create that answer. Here's another example. Maybe you value personal health, education, intellectual achievement. Maybe that's your driving value. That might cause you to say no. Nope, I won't smoke weed. I know it isn't healthy for my body or my mind, and I learned these important things in health class. I'm sure that's what you're going to say. But those are values that might trigger this response. Lastly, maybe your driving values, or the most impactful ones that you have, are personal freedom and independence. Nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't do. And perhaps those values might cause you to say, yeah, I will smoke the weed. I don't care what others tell me about the negative effects. I will do whatever I want, whenever I want. So this is an example of how different values can inspire a person to make different decisions. So, some final words of wisdom for you from me. Listen carefully. You are the way you are because of the choices that you've made about your life and the attitude that you have about your life. You will continue to be that way based on the choices you continue to make. So, if you continue doing what you've always done, you'll continue to get what you've always gotten. So if you're looking at your grades at quarter time and you don't like what you see, you are responsible for making a change to get a different result. If you continue to do the same stuff, the grades are never going to change. That's just one example. If you want something different from life, you need to make a change. All right, that is your video lesson on values. Till next time, Gregor out.